Happy Saturday. I'm Barbara Ann and welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. They quickly show pictures of her doing a sleep study, pictures of her having her tonsils removed, pictures of her actual sicknesses and illnesses, and trying to chalk it up to Munchausen syndrome by proxy. But people are not concerned about driving in prison. They're not missing that. They're missing their kids, their spouse, their family, their parents. And what about Nicholas Godejohn? What about his second chance? What about his freedom? What about his inability to say goodbye to his own mother? What about him losing his mother? What about what you did to Stephanie Goldhammer too? Did you ever think about the perspective of anybody other than yourself and what they went through?
I didn't have that. So I didn't have a form of reference of a normal life when I went into prison.
But she did have a reference for a normal life. She got to do extraordinary things that most kids, myself included, did not get to do. The one vacation that I got to take when I was a child was going to Tennessee from Michigan because my grandmother was dying of cancer. I never got to go to Disney World. I never got to go to Disneyland. I never got to go to Universal. I never got to go swimming with dolphins. I never got to take tropical vacations. I never got a free house. I never got free cars. I never got free laptops and cell phones and all of my bills paid. Nope, none of that. She clearly had a lot of friends, a lot of interaction with people in the local community. She watched TV and she was reading book series like Harry Potter and 50 Shades of Grey. But she did not have a reference for normal. Well, your life's not going to be normal because you were not born normal. You were born sick with a very serious genetic chromosome. Rod Blanchard is equally as responsible for negligence over that 24 years as she wants to say her mom was for abusing her. But let's not forget that there's lots of pictures of him visiting Gypsy over the years, and he knew everything that was going on with her life medically. So she gives all of this grace and second chance to her dad, but not her dead mom, whose life she not only took, she then slandered her memory and then made money off of it. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Right and wrong, black and white. There are things you do and you don't do, okay? There are criminal behaviors and non-criminal behaviors. And when you choose to murder somebody, you know what you're doing. She knew what she was doing because she hid it and she lied about it and she covered it up for years. She tried to do it twice herself. She failed. She manipulated somebody into helping her and then lied about them too. It's really that simple. She's lying and she knows it. No, it shouldn't take anything into account because when you commit a crime like homicide, you are solely responsible for your actions. It doesn't matter how you got there. If it's not self-defense, you have no right to take somebody else's life. You have no right to impede or infringe on somebody else's basic human right to their life, to their civil, their constitutional rights, their legal rights, none of it. The only thing that we can say about the legal system, about the incarceration system, about the prison system, about the justice system is they oftentimes get it wrong. Over 12% of incarcerated individuals in the United States of America are actually innocent of the charges they were convicted on. America has 330 million citizens. Over 96% of all Americans are going to suffer some kind of trauma, some kind of SA, abuse, mental health issues, trauma, traumatic events, grief, loss. Yet you don't see 9 out of 10 people committing felony crimes like this. And let's not even get into details about how it's unfair to minorities. If Gypsy Rose Blanchard did not sound like a 12-year-old and look like a 12-year-old at only 4'11" and 123 pounds, and she wasn't Caucasian and looked like she has something wrong with her, she wouldn't be getting away with what she did and she wouldn't have gotten a plea deal. It's that simple. If she was Black, Asian, Hispanic, Gypsy Rose Blanchard would be serving life behind bars and she would have went to trial.
Other times ignores that. There's lots of things that could be.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of things like how you should have went to trial because what you were actually doing with your mother was grifting, you were scamming, you were conning, you were getting disability checks pretending to be disabled when you actually weren't. You are in your medical records reported to the doctor as saying yourself directly, patient reports that she doesn't have any feeling from the waist down, that she has just slight tingling. Oh, and there's also how from the ages of 18 to 24, she continued to do it while she was an adult. And there's all the medical records and papers that she had to sign herself in her own name because she was legally an adult and she knew it. I highly suggest that you read the medical records. Dee Dee Blanchard herself signed off on an authorization form allowing them to obtain all the records directly from Louisiana, where she even writes down aliases, alternate spellings of names, and all the alternate birth dates for Gypsy Rose. You decided your own fate when you decided to commit murder. There are 2 punishments for that: life in prison without the possibility of parole, and the death penalty, and you were facing the death penalty. Now you can see why there's so much emphasis on this victim narrative and story. She's incentivized to lie. It's psychological egoism. It's self-preservation.
All of us involved are, it's relief. At the very beginning of this, there was the question of the death penalty.
Nope, I'm going to have to agree to disagree. There is absolutely no excuse, no reason, no justification for harming other people, for doing whatever you want, for throwing other people under the bus and lying about them. The people that are surrounding her are teaching her that this is appropriate and it's okay to live a life completely selfish based on what you want and not looking at long term, not looking at the future, not looking at what she has now, a child. One thing can be said about Dee Dee Blanchard and Stephanie Goldammer, at least they weren't selfish mothers. Gypsy, on the other hand, lawyer should be giving you that kind of legal advice. But I love how they constantly use when she was really sick with asthma and pneumonia, which she really did have, and her tonsils being taken out. And they also use pictures of her during a sleep study that she had to have. And they're actually trying to make it look like that is Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Good work, Melissa. Her and Mike are so trifling, and I wonder why that is. Is it because she didn't break out in Hollywood the way she wanted, and he didn't become this big successful attorney that he imagined himself, pressed by a girl that really was sick and was extremely sweet, turned murderer? Turned lying about everybody and everything, now has a baby in her care? I really worry about your mental health if you actually think that's impressive. That also is not growth. That is not reformation. That is not rehabilitation. That is you guys trying to make us believe that it is. Owes anybody any kind of grace or kindness. And that is something that you have not shown to Nicholas Godejohn, to your mother, to Stephanie Goldammer, and you certainly have not shown him any kind of grace. The way that you harm and hurt other people and then dispose of them, I'm surprised Melissa G. Moore even associates with you knowing what her father did to people.
I have a choice now.
You always had a choice, and you knew that when you were hiding it and lying about it. You tried to take your mom's life twice before, and you chose murder. Nobody else made you do it. And that was a whole entire year and a half before you started to manipulate Nicholas Godejohn into helping you actually get the job done. Was it actually your plan the whole time to be able to say, I don't identify with being a murderer, and I didn't commit the act? But everybody knows, by Missouri statute, it doesn't matter because it's anybody over the age of 18 who knowingly causes the death of another person. You got a plea deal for second degree, but what you did was first degree premeditated murder, period.
To make myself into whatever I want to be. And that should go for everybody. You're not defined by your past, your status, or anything else. You can choose.
Oh, Gypsy, you are so gullible to think that people can just get around their circumstances, get around their financial issues, get around their life, and just choose to be whatever they want to be. Yeah, that's not reality for most people. Most people are good and decent in their core and can't go through life grifting, harming, hurting, disposing of other people to get what they want. And then further slandering and harming people, harming content creators just to try to keep what reputation you think you have. Girl, you are a murderer. Murderer, killer, murderer, whatever you want to call it. That's you, and that's all you are.
So all those haters out there.
Gypsy Rose and the people that surround her harm content creators all the time. She slanders them, stalks them, harasses them, cyberbullies them, and then turns around and Darvos everybody and then tries to play victim. All she knows how to do is play victim. This was her plan the entire time, and you can clearly see that in her new TV show. In that room uses they, them pronouns, and she better hope that the next active school shooter isn't in there taking notes from her, because we already counted, 19 different children have tried to unalive their mother in their sleep or has unalived their mother in their sleep. There's one here in East Point, Michigan, 14 years old, had a 17-year-old boyfriend, tried to mimic and copy Gypsy Rose Blanchard because they seen her get almost 10 million followers on TikTok. They seen her get reality TV shows, get interviews. They seen all of the attention that she's getting, and they thought, you know what? That's all I have to do. That's all I have to do is take the life of my mother and have my boyfriend do it for me, and then I get what Gypsy gets. Don't forget that she's still grifting exactly how her mom did. Book deals, using the news, using mainstream media, all of it. But you know what? Just go ahead and look at her own actions, her own words, her own choices, and her own behaviors.
No, I'm not going to shower. No, I made a choice a long time ago that I wasn't going to show her on social media. It's to respect her privacy. We're trying to keep her as private as we possibly can. I said a long time ago, I'm not going to try to be a mommy influencer. I'm not going to try and post about her.
Mistress, my ass. You wish.
Just look at her continuous lies. Look at how she uses her own child as a prop to try to garner positive attention for herself and her reputation. This is the person who literally offered up her daughter when she turns 13 to her own biological father to take her V card. Yeah, and she wants to be a mommy influencer now. Of course she's going to lie and to deny that, but that's exactly what she's doing.
Sometimes parenthood is trying to start a routine, and 2 hours later, still awake. So today I'm going to be doing a product review of some of my favorite baby products. This is not sponsored. I did buy these products myself, and I just want to review them and tell you guys how I like them and what to not spend your money on. Okay, so the first product I want to talk about is this. So this is a Baby Bliss pillow. So it's a feeding pillow. This is great for babies that have constant spit up or reflux. And so it is at a 15-degree angle. So babies tend to have, especially newborns, tend to have reflux or some form of spit up. And so usually when they're laying on their backs, the muscle in their esophagus is pretty weak at that age. And so they're not able to close that esophagus muscle so the milk comes back up. So this at least helps elevate them at an angle where it is safe and there's less spit up likely. I bought this and I use it all the time. I bought 2 actually. So one for my house in Cutoff and one for her nursery here at Ken's. And so this has just been like really, really good to have, and it is adjustable. So it can grow or it can be adjusted with the child's age. It's great. You have these little things on the back and you can adjust it to the height that you need it to be. It's great. Love this. Worth the money. Now we're going to talk about what this is. So this is the Owlet camera and smart sock. So the camera is supposed to pair with your phone, as is the smart sock. The smart sock, I would say, is an absolute must. I love. Oh, no, he's talking to me. He's talking to mommy. The Owlet sock is great. The camera, however, I had such a hard time pairing it with my phone that I don't even use this. And instead, I bought a VTech camera. Works so much better, and it has the monitor. So this is pretty pricey for the sock and camera duo. This was like $400.
$400 fucking dollars? Are you kidding me? Return that ASAP and get your money back, Gypsy. You are not a prince. You are not a duke and duchess. You ain't got that kind of money. I mean, shit, he's the prince of the United Kingdom and he still has to grift like a motherfucker.
And I only used the sock. So I felt like I really kind of wasted a lot of money on this with high expectations. Okay, so next is the Baby Brezza bottle sanitizer. This was a gift from our baby shower, and though it is nice, it's not exactly necessary. It doesn't wash the bottles for you. It does sanitize them, and it uses steam to do so. So it's nice, but not exactly necessary. So for stroller, we have an Argo Baby Deluxe Metro, and I did get a sunshade to go over it, because personally I want to keep my baby's privacy as much as possible. So whenever we're going out in public, I really just don't want to risk people taking pictures of her. And so I bought this for privacy's sake, but it also is great as a sun protection. These are great to have. She wasn't very interested in it whenever we first brought her home to do tummy time. We used to put her here to do tummy time, and she really just wasn't interested in it at about 1 month old. But now that she's 3 months, she is starting to really like it. It has lights and sounds. Let's see. That seems to get her attention and makes her laugh. So for tummy time, we use this. This is a great pillow to have for tummy time. You lay them down in the middle and then prop them up on their elbows so they can build that head strength, their back and neck strength. Great. Okay, and lastly we have the Baby Brezza bottle maker. This is the Advanced Pro bottle maker. It is supposed to be Wi-Fi compatible, so you're able to make bottles from your phone. However, the app does not work. I've tried so many times to make the app work and it just doesn't. So it's great for those 3 to 5 minutes that it takes to make a bottle. This spits out a bottle like that. So we use this and we keep it by the nightstand, by the bed. For those night feedings, it's great. Produces a bottle in seconds. It's really, really great at night. There are settings on it where you can go on the website and find out if you're using a certain type of formula. It will tell you what setting to put it on for that specific formula. This is an airtight container, so the formula does not get exposed to moisture. Yeah, so I really recommend this. You do need to clean it once a week, because if you don't clean it, it will be like clogged up and probably break. So be sure to clean it. But this is great, so would recommend.
Everything that she just showed is completely unnecessary. Coming from somebody who gave birth to 5 children and raised them, plus 8 nieces and nephews. Anybody that has children, anybody that's a mother that's experienced knows that with your first child, you usually overbuy and you get things that are gifted to you, a lot of things that are unnecessary, that are a waste of actual money. But whoever is guiding her or giving her advice is not actually giving her advice. You need a crib, you need a swing, you need a bouncer, you need a high chair, maybe a bassinet, and you need a sterilizer. That's about it, other than a car seat, a stroller, and maybe a walker. Most kids don't even use them for a month. But this goes to show why she works so hard grifting. Yeah, because she just blows money. Like it's nothing. Like it doesn't matter. Like she didn't have to work for it. Meanwhile, she could be advocating for Nicholas Godejohn. She could actually be trying to make a difference. She can actually be trying to do something good, advocating, really making a change. And that is exactly how we know that she hasn't changed, because she won't do the right thing, the good, decent, moral thing. And don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and share.